I didn't know that.
No,
what was that story?
Where Altamont Ave is. We didn't know about him mooning.
No, I'm saying
Oh,
I'm talking about, you know where Altamont Ave is.
Oh yeah, I mean I've thrown up on a cat box in New Year's Eve. So
I pissed in a cat box. Thought it was the toilet, and my cat woke up. My cat was at the end of my bed staring at me like, "You piece of shit."
I upper deckered a cat.
How? Hang on. How the hell? That's just standing over a litter box.
Dude, I was so drunk.
Yeah,
It
but
took me forever to stand up, and in my brain, it would took long enough where I thought I walked to the bathroom, and I just turned and I looked down and I just started peeing in the fucking cat.
litter.
it's important to note that if you don't lock eyes with the cat as you take over the litter box, you're a real piece of shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta establish dominance while
You need that connection of souls to know what's happening.
He's right.
That was one the nights I got I basically got sabotaged. I got alcohol poisoning because my friends we had a thing as we were drinking Smirnoff Ice at the time. Listen, you take a sip and you pour cherry vodka in it to fill it up. But that was only it. It was supposed to
This is the most white girl basic bitch.
Yeah,
I've
so this is
heard in a while.
17 white claws get me to the hospital
with a shot of vodka. But every time I took a sip, she thought it was a new beer, and she just keep pouring vodka in until at one point I'm just drinking straight cherry vodka over and over again.
That's rough.
Oh my god!
So yeah, they got
how, man. I used to drink like 45 beers a night,
dude.
And then
I used to play beer pong.
Like, let's go to the bar.
I mean, yeah, my buddies and I would at least finish off a 30 rack before we went out.
No.
We did multiple 30 racks.
Just 45 for me. That's
No,
how.
I'm not trying to.
I'm not trying to
compete. I'm just trying to set a standard.
I am a disgusting fat mess because of alcohol. I'll point that out right now.
I mean,
I used to fucking.
I wasn't going to say anything.
The 5 a.m. playing beer games and shit. I played beer pong with liquor because my brother don't like beer. So, and we won like 3 times.
Oh, liquor pong is the worst.
Oh god,
it can be.
Oh yeah,
it can also.
We turned darts, we turned cards, everything into drinking games.
Nice. Yeah, back in the day, here and there we would, but then we just let's just have a drink. Let's just have a drink.
A cool thing was I drank a whole bottle of 100 proof Southern Comfort by taking shots off two lesbians.
Listen, this is all fascinating, but I've been waiting 2 weeks to talk about James.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Listen, by the way, Mick and I are the only ones truly prepared for this.
I have notes.
You're prepared for the dress up 5 minutes ago.
It doesn't matter when I put the shirt and tie on.
Listen, he went back to wardrobe.
It's true.
I did.
And Mick looks like he just got home from losing a court case. I look like I'm the one that represented him, so I'm paying for beers with his check.
Or you're like that shiesty lawyer that people are just like,
yeah.
You just find kind of like down the street, just kind of like hanging out or on a podcast. Like, yeah, man, I'm a lawyer. Why? What's up?
I did 1 year.
I can get you through. I can get you through the day.
No, in fact, the comment was, "Hey, I can give you law advice." No mention of being a lawyer at all. He's just hired.
Hired.
Sounds good. You're hired.
Come to find out, he's not a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's why we lost.
Yep.
Oh God.
Well, yeah, we're here to talk about Bond.
James, we're kicking off the James Bond marathon
franchise.
And
as I pour my beer,
I'm excited for it. Not from these two movies, but I am excited for the ones coming down in the future. Hopefully, I hope it gets better. But
I don't idea how many movies are even in this.
25
or something.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Three extras.
3 spin-off
remakes
or remakes in some way.
Yeah. And Nick has been doing some things over on his channel as well, which I'm gonna let him talk about that. Because he's been doing with Bond. So you guys should definitely go check out
Mick Manhattan, Manhattan.
Mick Manhattan.
2 Manhattans.
I like that wasn't supposed to be a thing. That wasn't supposed to be an iconic James Bond line. He was mimicking the woman. I forget what her name was already. I have it up here. I have it all in my notes. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. He did.
He was
because she did it to
because and Sylvia Trench. Sylvia Trench, who was played by Eunice Grace Gayson, and she said Trench, Sylvia Trench, and so when it cuts over and she goes, "What's your name?" and he goes, "Bond, James Bond." But look at it, how iconic that was. That doesn't even come back in the movies until after On Her Majesty's Secret Service. He doesn't say that again. So
really, that far?
Yeah,
So,
we remember it.
We should say that the James Bond series starts with Dr. No in 1962. That's what this is from.
Yep.
62, which is...
And
there's some of these movies out now, right? Wasn't there one coming out?
Well, no, there's some kind of legal or argument with Amazon. I think Amazon owns the rights now for some fucking reason.
They bought MGM.
Yeah.
And their whole back.
Yeah, and now they're being assholes or some kind of...
They're searching for a new James Bond. Last I heard, they liked Aaron Taylor Johnson, but they wanted to see how Craven was going to do. And
that was a mistake.
Yeah, Craven did not do well. Although I think I think he would make a good James Bond because he was good in Craven.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. The movie
I think, exactly. I think like that 100% wasn't what actors are in this movie. This is from Sony and his Spider-Man property. It's automatically going to be bad. Like, that was a movie I was like, if you took out the Spider-Man things, whatever, I'd watch it again. Like, it wasn't like it was bad, but like we watch a lot worse. You know, like we do. Like, we really do.
Like Madam Web.
Yeah, that's a lot worse.
Yes, that was.
And what was the movie we watched with that one? With Madam Web? Morbius.
That was a lot worse too.
Morbius.
I mean, it's not much better. It's not like it's on like Venom level, but Venom even sucks to me. So whatever. Let's go back to Bond. Screw them.
But yeah, take it away, Mick, with what you do, what you've been doing through the whole Bond thing. And
yes, so over on my channel, I do something called Classic Film Reviews. They're like 2 or 3 minute shorts. Where we discuss some behind the scenes stuff behind the making of this movie and stuff like that. We cover all types, but we are doing James Bond movies all throughout this time in the new year while we're covering them over here on Popcorn and Pints. I'm so excited. I've been learning a lot about every movie by doing this, all the research and such. And but there's a bunch out now. You can go check them out. I did from Dr. No all the way to On Her Majesty's Secret Service is out on my channel. You can go check those out. And they will be coming out each week after that. So super excited.
Dedication right there.
I am. I really wanted to go at it hard. Like I felt like I went too soft on the Godzilla last year, and we went pretty in depth.
We did,
but I still felt like I went too soft. And so for this one, I was like, I want to challenge myself. I want to do really good, especially I'm on somebody else's show. You know, I just want to
the pressure's off because it's somebody else's show. So Mick
I was gonna say this though, like what I could say to shoot you some bail is, at that same time, going through Godzilla, you were also going through with us Star Wars and Star Trek. So it was like doing extra research on either would have been like, listen, I'm just gonna say this: you would have been coming on the podcast with sunglasses on because the wife would have been like, Mick, when are we gonna see you?
Yeah,
and you have sunglasses on because both your eyes are black and the light hurt your eyes.
Wow.
So
that would have only added to the unbuttoned collar and untied tie.
It goes back. I love when you went back to it. I love how you went back to it. So we got divorced Bond over here, and we got
divorced
Bond. Shut up! Oh, I got to take my glasses off.
Divorced Bond.
Stories from a Bond.
You know, at least I dressed up.
It's true. I cashed the check.
I didn't get the check. That's why you didn't hire me as your lawyer. I couldn't get a suit.
Oh. All right, let's talk about Dr. No.
Let's kick that one off.
This is where the Dr. No, James Bond franchise kicks off.
Yep.
Movie wise,
62, and whoever wants to kick it off, don't be shy.
I attempted to go through this entire franchise back when Netflix mailed out DVDs, and I don't remember how far I made it. So some of these I've seen at least once before, and my impression of these initial movies is reinforced in that Sean Connery rapes most of these women.
Later on, not the
Every
first
time
two.
I'm on these channels, every time.
And he has long ass eyebrows, by the way. Like the longest eyebrows I've ever seen on a human being.
They're pretty long. They're pretty caterpillary.
Maybe
They are
just
such thick eyebrows.
Maybe they're just caterpillars. You know.
And this is before he gets all those fancy gadgets and shit. The only fancy gadget he had was the suitcase. Wasn't it?
That's not even in Doctor
That's
No.
not even that. That's from Russia with
Yeah,
Love.
that's not
Yeah,
no,
those-
that's
that's-
yeah.
That's
gun,
the next
that's
one. There's no fancy gadgets in Doctor No, the first movie.
No. He was just a
Well-
regular dude that almost died like 3 times.
So to kind of give a background on that, Q, who comes up in From Russia with Love, and you will see him all throughout. He is the one that provides all of the
Yeah.
gadgets. So he
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
introduced until From Russia with Love.
So is he like Bond? Oh, I forgot his name. You know, the
Q.
dude for Batman. Is he like Bond's dude for that gives Batman's weapons and all that?
My favorite
Oh.
thing about Q is Q gives so much shit to James Bond in every single movie. He is From Russia with Love, like he's kind of cold to him,
Mhm.
but like it's very brief. But from now on, the gadgets get bigger, they get wilder, and he is just a dick to every version of James Bond. He doesn't care.
I like that. I like that.
You're terrible. You don't know how to handle this fine equipment that I create. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, they don't establish him too much in From Russia with Love. They just a quick like overview of the briefcase they give him, and that's like it.
If you guys want, I could do a quick cover of the characters. in
Oh.
this.
if
and
you would like to.
if you guys are cool with it.
Oh, of course. Listen. You're honorary.
He's
P&P.
prepared.
Plenty of
He's
ass.
prepared. He's more prepared than we've ever been, and
Well, he's newly divorced right now, so
it's true.
I am not. Stop.
this character,
Hooked
Bond
me hard
Manhattan,
after sex, but whatever.
Like I'm sorry I lost your case, but at least the check cleared, so I don't care.
You guys are dicks. I love it. Okay, so we get to Dr. No. Dr. No, of course, follows James Bond as he is going to investigate the murder of some British sort of spies that he works with that are on a case in Jamaica. Along the way, he finds a very very hardcore nuclear plot against America, being held against ransom for the what is it, the criminal organization Spectre. And I didn't expect to do this part, but so this is the first movie based on James Bond, who was created by Ian Fleming, written about based on his time when he was in the SIS and worked as a spy, and he based it off of people he knew throughout the war who worked as a spy. So James Bond comes in. This is not the first book of James Bond, but this is the first movie in the franchise, in the official 25 movie franchise. There's also 3 movies that sit outside of it that are remakes of different ones. 2 Casino Royale, and 1 is a remake of Thunderball called Never Say Never Again that brings Connery back as Bond later in the 80s. It's not connected in any way. So with that being said, I wanted to point that out because I was going to go over the characters. Of course, we have Sean Connery as his first iteration of James Bond. Out of 7 times he played it, with 1 break in between. So out of 8 movies, he played him 7 times with on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
And it's not like those shorts get any longer in any of those 7 times.
Do not. He gets older, very visibly, but his shorts do not get longer. And he loves those shorts. So in this movie, you have Sean Connery in his first shot of James Bond. Ursula Andress, who plays Honey Rider in the movie. She's one of the first Bond girls. The iconic.
Such a great stripper name.
They all are. They all are.
They really are. I'm always excited to hear what like the main Bond girl's name is.
I can't wait till you get the gold finger. You're gonna love it.
Man.
So in this one, you have Ursula Andress plays the first Bond girl, iconic of her coming out of the water in a bikini, which we will see again with Halle Berry and her Bond later on with
Yep.
Pierce Brosnan. They recreate it. In this one, we have a lot of introductions of famous characters that show up in James Bond, like Felix Leiter, a CIA operative that becomes very close friends with James Bond. And he is played by Jack Lord in this movie. For our older fans on this show who may enjoy this, he also was the head detective on Hawaii Five-0. So, so he was the first actor to play Felix Leiter. Felix Leiter is only played by multiple actors twice. One, he is, and we'll get to it. Just in this one, he plays Jack Lord. We'll get to those when we get to those movies. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Bernard Lee plays M, which is the leader of the organization, the MI6 organization, that the 00 program. And he is played by Bernard Lee, who took over and would play M for the next, from 1962 to 79. Moonraker was his last movie.
That's a big range.
That is a big one for sure. And yeah, so he plays M, of course. You see him in this movie. And then of course you have, and I know I'm going a little haywire here, but you have Moneypenny, who is played by Lois Maxwell, and she plays it for the next 17 movies.
God damn.
Moneypenny, yes. And she
why does James Bond never bang Moneypenny?
That's I think he just loved her too much. He cared about her too much.
The only woman he ever actually loved, he just didn't want to do that to.
That's not true. It depending on which James Bond you talk about, because technically Sylvia Trench, who shows up in this movie, also shows up in From Russia with Love. She's the only one of the Bond girls that shows up twice besides Moneypenny, who showed up throughout everyone. And she played like sort of a steady girlfriend for him. So that was a different sort of approach in these first two movies. And then of course there's Q does not come in until From Russia with Love. But he is such an iconic character. If you know anything about him, he creates creates everything. He is in Dr. No, but he, because he does have, there are a couple of not gadgets, but sort of like spy things that you can use. He is played by Major Boothroyd, and what do you call it? And then Desmond Llewellyn takes over From Russia with Love, and he will remain Q until his death in 1999.
Damn.
Wow.
He stays Q. So, and there's others to talk about along the way, but those are like some really important characters in the James Bond mythos, and they start in Dr. No, and I thought it was important to mention them. And
Nice.
as we go, but I don't know where you want to go from there, but I have plenty of
along the lines of importance, I have started a tally of how many women James Bond bangs as we go through this adventure.
I like that.
Awesome.
Just because that's so Popcorn and Pints, just to out of everything, just like let's just see how many. But I really do like that.
And in Dr. No alone, we're up to 3.
Yep. That does not. So I can promise you 2 things on this whole game.
Less than women
That
James Bond bangs.
That don't have to do with spying at all. One,
just getting it wet.
James Bond will have sex at least twice in every James Bond movie. And 2, he will be knocked unconscious by the henchmen for hours at least once in every movie and still survive.
Yeah. I believe that. I believe that 100%. It's so fucking stupid. Like, there would be no franchise if every bad guy just shot the fucking hero right away when they came across him.
At the very least, it's like, okay, say Dr. No, you let him survive, but it's like all right, this dude, he went through some shit about 2 years ago, and somehow he survived. We got to just take him out. Fuck knocking him out.
No, the fucking Dr. No himself, Mr. Handless, has dinner with him, keeps him alive, and then he hides in a fucking cheap ass spacesuit as like an underling. in their lab where they try to raise nuclear bombs or something.
Cheap
Oh,
ass
I'm like,
face.
Yeah, I know. They could have
I
shot him right
know.
in the forehead right
Like
there.
they keep him alive for literally no reason.
And it gets, but that's, you don't even get it. You don't even get it yet, because when you, the farther you go on, the reasons he keeps surviving become the more and more bonkers, because you're just like, of course he's gonna survive this. Just kill him. This is so easy. So not to give anything away, but I want to sprinkle a little bit of a hint of a future case that we're talking about, and that is, at one point, and this is the third time they've rendered him in this movie unconscious, James Bond outsmarted him in some way, and the same henchmen now have the task of murdering him. They leave him in a pipe in the desert in a construction yard, and James Bond wakes up and the pipeline is just finished and he walks out of it. Good luck. It gets more and more bonkers of like,
Ridiculous.
he's not even tied up.
Get lazy with it.
Why not just shoot him? Why you put him in a pipe and let him just sit there? What the hell?
like, and they said after they did it, they're like, and that's a job well done, or something like that. And it's like, you left him alive.
Oh man.
The one thing you were told to do is murder him.
Every movie.
Let's do everything we can except actually murder him. That's
Yeah.
Dude,
knock him out.
That starts.
Let's give him like 18,000 concussions. That's it.
We'll have CTE when he's later on in life. Didn't even know about it back then.
1,000% has CT.
yeah. This is
why.
how people learned about CTE, watching James Bond get hit by the butt of a gun over and over again and knocked out for hours on
This
it.
is why Sean Connery did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, because of the CTE from being James Bond.
He didn't know what he signed up for.
Oh,
It was another Bond movie.
I like that the biggest gadget they give him in this is they make him give up his Beretta and he has to start carrying a Walter. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like it.
He tries to walk out with it. They're like,
Leave
"Here
it.
we go."
There's no question. This is the most basic of the James Bond movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Oh, yeah.
that's the cool part about James Bond is like it was still the tone for 62 because there was no other tone.
By the way, it only took 16 minutes into this movie for James Bond to bang the first woman.
You know what? That you have to do that too. You have to have the time that he bangs the first one, and then how many per movie, and then how many at the end of the year.
Three women and Dr. No, and it took 16 minutes to get to the first one.
You know why there were so few James Bond movies in the 80s? AIDS. Like
Oh.
there's like we can't sustain all
God
of
damn.
he does.
And now that he says that with the
very
shirt and
believable.
button and the tie undone, Mick looks like he just learned he has AIDS.
Oh,
He just walked out of the emergency room and realized what the truth.
And let me guess, you were his doctor.
As long as the check clear.
Being around him too much.
I'm only one button undone. Mick's 2 or 3 deep.
Stop
He's gonna go
firing.
deeper if we don't finish him.
Yeah, by the end of the
That's
show,
what
he's gonna
she
have,
said.
like, fully undone.
Doctor, no.
We
Honestly, though,
the
like
iconic-
going into these movies, like my introduction to Bond was honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Nintendo 64 GoldenEye,
That was
And
most
then-
of our generation's
and then-
introduction to Bond.
and then maybe I don't even know if I've ever seen a Bond movie fully. Maybe bits and pieces of them here and there, but like I was expecting like a lot more action, a lot more, just cool gadgets and all this stuff from just watching this one. I thought it started back then. I didn't know. I've never seen it before.
No, when
exactly.
it comes to Bond, I think the farthest back I can remember being aware of was the Pierce Brosnan days. Legitimately, like those are the movies I had seen. I didn't see all of them.
Now is he the one that's on the cover of which is he on the one that's on the cover of the 007 game? Pierce Brosnan.
That was GoldenEye came out when Pierce Brosnan was Bond.
Yeah. That was his first movie, Goldeneye.
Okay.
Mm.
So, and that was the
But-
first one since the 80s.
Really?
I think it was
There was a huge fucking there was a huge gap.
yeah, because it was so of course we get Connery in the first 6 installments, and we get George Lazenby in his only installment of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Then we get Connery back for Diamonds Are Forever, and then of course we get the 7 movie run from Roger Moore, who took over in Live and Let Die. And then he left I think it's A View to Kill, and then of course the Living Daylights and the License to Kill were of course Timothy Dalton's only 2 runs, and then that's when you have Pierce Brosnan take over. I think it's 95 or 96 with Goldeneye, and he did 4 movies, and of course the 5 movies with Daniel Craig. So yes, there is a big gap, because I think it was 88 to, I get it, it's either 95 or 96. I can't remember exactly when the movie came out.
But there's
I was
almost
in middle school.
there's
95.
practically a decade between them.
Yeah,
Paul, you should join in for that one when we're doing that one, whatever movie it's tied with, the Octopussy one.
Hey, Paul, that was the first one I ever seen. Also,
that was the one in the 80s. So as kids, like, I could see why. That was like 83, I think.
Really?
just by the name of it, you accidentally come across it, you think it's a porno.
Or something. You think
I
something about
mean,
it.
you're not fully wrong.
You think something of it, but
Sounds like 8 guys, 1 girl. That's
Goat James Bond is the. I'm gonna be honest with you. By the end of this, I've always said ignorantly that Sean Connery is the best Bond.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold my judgment until we get through this series. But I will say, if you told me today Sean Connery was a rapist, I'd believe it based on watching these movies. He is 100%, at a minimum 90%, forcing himself on these Bond girls.
not.
They're,
I don't.
they're not fighting back. But literally, from Russia with Love, the first time he meets the blonde girl, what's her name from Russia with Love?
What was her name again?
Because the Bond girl names are always one of my favorites to first hear. We got Honey Rider and Doctor No.
Honey Rider. Yes,
It's like they used honey for lubricant, and now she's just riding him.
Yeah, it was Tatiana Romanova. That's why I didn't remember, because it isn't really like
literally, like, he walks into her hotel room, and first time they've ever met, and he's banging her within 30 seconds.
Still not
and Moneypenny can't even catch a tip.
No.
But Sean Connery, like, it's borderline rape. I'm sorry. When I watch these movies, to some extent.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? You watch Mad Men and how it's a recreation of that time. And yeah, like I think that was just guys. I think that was just what guys did. Which I'm not defending, and I'm not saying is okay.
Oh, definitely not.
And I'm definitely not, like, that's again like what you're saying right now is like why I'm kind of like, I don't know if Connery was
Holy fuck, the Lions are losing. Sorry.
Like it's kind of like Connery's a little creepy, like the more you get on.
It is creepy. The more he introduced, every time Connery has an interaction with women in these first 2 movies, it gets a little creepy.
Yeah, I'm going to reserve it because I'm really anxious to get into Roger Moore, especially as a full-on adult.
Yeah,
dressed up for James Bond week. But I think I'm gonna. Right now it's Daniel Craig.
First, your favorite?
Yeah, I love the Daniel Craig movies. All of them.
That's fair.
I haven't seen that many to judge.
I've only seen like 2 of them.
But this is I've literally only seen 2. I can say I can guarantee I've seen 2 full Bond movies, and that's the 2 we've watched and never seen tonight. But what I was gonna say is I'm gonna do that same thing, like kind of try to keep in mind. But it'll probably, honestly, for me, which I don't know if it'll be fair to the actual Bond characters or not, as far as the actors who played Bond. But for me, it's gonna be like the movies. As the movies get better, and that could just because of better script, this, that, and the third, or whatever. And that might not necessarily be that Bond that's my favorite Bond, if that makes any sense.
I
But I'm
think part
gonna
of
still
it's going
try
to
to
be
pick out my favorite.
the time frame in which we've grown up and got introduced to the character and kind of hopped on the Bond bandwagon.
Well, for me, it's 2025.
Mm.
Besides, honestly, I honestly, you know what? I can almost see
Sorry.
maybe just because of the game, Pierce Brosnan doing something for me for the Bond movies, like being more entertaining or whatever. Maybe really paying attention to that, but like really connecting with that Bond because of the game.
A little harder. You think
No,
that's
not
what
that.
happened when you got there?
I didn't say that. I didn't say all that. But maybe if that maybe that's because again that's my biggest connection to this franchise, to these movies, is GoldenEye from Nintendo 64, which I want to play that.
There's going to be a Bond girl called Stir Harder. That's
I don't know. It's gonna be a lot as we go. So I'm excited about all of them because I don't know. I haven't seen all these. So, in fact, I'm finding out more and more as I go. Like, because I'm way ahead. I'm in the 70s.
Yeah, you are.
And the reason is because I was doing the classic film reviews. I got to do those ahead of time. So, but just kind of like watching these and going through them and everything, I've enjoyed so much the evolution of so many things. Like you get Dr. No in here who has like the strong hands and such, and it's this introduction of a villain that's like almost superhuman that James Bond has to take on in this organization that's bigger than that one would expect with Spectre. And then of course that follows throughout. Like in the next one, of course, in my opinion, you have Quint from Jaws, Robert Shaw in it playing the big bad.
Nice.
But now they're introducing the other henchmen like Rosa Klebb and things like that. Like, so these two movies started laying groundwork that, like, Blofeld for me is like kind of a dumb character. He's in like 3 of the movies, played all by different characters, by different actors. You know, you get Goldfinger, who's in the 4th one, who's very much the same way. So, like, a lot of it is just kind of like fun until you get to the 70s. And then you get like a serious actors coming in to play these like insane villains. For Walken, Yaphet Kotto.
There's so much more fun to be had playing a villain than a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you could. I mean, I guess you could if you want to go to the whole heel face thing with wrestling. You could damn near do what you want. In a sense, and because you're the villain, it just makes sense that you're the villain.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You just get from that part out. Like, and there's no slouches in playing the villains. Blofeld is played by Donald Pleasance. Of course, we know him from Halloween and The Great Escape and you know and other amazing movies. Then you have what's his name? Off the top of my Telly Savalas, who played Kojak. Played Blofeld. It's so weird. You have a Blofeld who's like English, and then you have a Blofeld who's American, and then you have Blofeld who's English and now has hair. You're going to see so many really fun things. So like, I just want to be a proponent for this for anybody watching or listening.
Was that when Rogaine came out?
Oh, okay. You watch these movies, you've seen Connery's hair. Wait till you get to Goldfinger. Hair plugs galore. You'll see it. Like the first thing when they do the first close up, you're like, "That's a hair plug. That's a toupee right there, right there. I see it."
Awesome.
I just want to ask
Magic of Hollywood.
Are you very familiar with this franchise? Like watching all 25 of these films. One, because you're saying Sean Connery is a GOAT, he's your favorite. But have you seen every single one, or have you seen just like a handful? I'd like to know that, good sir. I would love to know that. Excuse me.
I'm excited though. I've been really. It's so.
You know.
By the way, when it comes to the women he bangs in this one, I don't even remember the order. So there's a woman at 16 minutes into the movie, but then he bangs the Chinese assistant who turns out to be like the double agent. Twice, by the way. I kept count. Bangs the Chinese assistant twice. That was I'm sorry, that was my whole note. I don't know where I was going with that.
He just banged it twice.
Well, he meets her at her house, so like he's waiting for killers to show up, and like he's literally just there killing time until like the people they want to kill him come. So he just bangs so he bangs the girl, the Chinese assistant.
You had to get that out. You get that out, and then
I want to
Relaxes the muscles, man. I guess you going.
I want to warn everyone now. Like if you watch Dr. No and it takes place in Jamaica, you see a lot of really stereotypical black characters, right? And then the next one it's more Russian and Istanbul. So you do get that from the Istanbul characters. It's just there. But I have to warn you. By the time you get to certain movies, it's really strong.
I'm
really strong.
expecting it.
Like by the time you get to You Only Live Twice, which takes place completely in Japan.
Oh God!
It gets
really
wild.
It seems like the more foreign you go, the worse it can only
The
be.
more racist it gets.
Yeah,
Nancy Sinatra singing a song with an Asian sort of theme to it.
Oh shit!
It's an interesting situation. Okay. I just thank God that they had Paul McCartney sing the song for the one with Voodoo.
What was I gonna say about this one? So with Dr. No, like with the one thing I will point out, one thing I did like it was early on in the movie is when the driver comes to pick him up. And when he's in the little phone booth talking to I forgot who he was talking to.
Oh, he called to see if they sent a car.
To see if they sent a car. They're like, no, we never send you a car. We know you don't like that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So he's like, okay, cool. And he gets in the car.
Yeah, he does it anyway. He knows what he's in store for. Which
but I'm like, what if he was wrong though? Like,
and the minute he checked and he realized that wasn't, he's a spy. He's going to put himself in the danger way to get the answers he needs to get while he's there because he's investigating, right? So,
but as long as he knows what's happening.
Yeah, he knows that car is there to do something to him. So he's just going to put himself there and be alert, and try and work his way out. Like that's so I always kind of like that aspect of these is where he's willing to put himself like this is his job. He's in it. Like license to kill also means license to die. Like you are expendable. I kind of like that aspect of these. That kind of changes when you get down the line. Like he becomes very egotistical and like, I'm not gonna die. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
but I did like that in this. Like, and then got the better of him because the other guy was not expecting him to know.
I mean, when he was driving all fast and he told him right there is where he gave it. Like he was like, I told you I'm not in a rush, so you don't have to drive fast. And then that guy's following us, so don't speed up, take that right. And then Bond, he already had the gun in his back, like before the guy could even do anything. Like, listen, I know this is a setup. I know what the fuck's going on. And one thing, okay, so with that scene though, one thing that does bother me about these older movies, I find it hilarious, the sound effects of the punches and how long somebody's knocked out from some weak ass punch. I'm like,
there's all kinds of weird shit in this. And one of the things I picked up on is where he's crawling through like the air duct system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense that there's like this giant flush of water.
Yeah.
But it's like there's still all these other areas for him to go, and there's no water dripping out of these random areas, like air vents in the ceiling for other rooms.
And that's a lot of water. I don't think those air ducts will.
I'm like, what the? Where is this water fucking coming from, and where is it going? How is it not breaking up everywhere?
And my favorite part of it is at times before the water came out, there were vents.
Mm.
Why would you put water through vents?
I know,
it doesn't make sense.
You're right.
There's nothing about him crawling through the vents and water coming out from fucking some random place making sense.
I just gets more and more bonkers, dude. It just
more and more bonkers, more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then another thing I picked up on there's the big escape, and he goes to save Honey Rider. At one point, she's wearing pants. The next point, when they go to escape, she's somehow lost her pants.
Yeah, they're gone.
Because he fucked
They're
her.
gone.
Oh, can we talk about all of the polar bearskin rugs in this lair? Every room had one. And granted, all right, listen, I know that it was probably the same bearskin rug in every room that art direction just put on the set.
Mhm.
Whatever. I get it. But let's think about it logically for a second. Every time you entered a room, there's a bearskin rug. So that says to me that there is a polar bearskin rug in every room of that lair, which was huge, Death Star type level. And you're going to tell me for even a second that we're to blame because there's no more goddamn polar bears anywhere? Somebody had to kill all those things and make rugs.
You damn right.
You know,
You damn right.
Inspector, stop blaming us, Leonardo DiCaprio.
But my question to you is, Mick, do you want a polar bear skin rug?
No,
No.
I would never
No.
put my family down on the floor like that.
That's fair.
And this movie, Dr. No, of course, ends with him banging Honey Rider even more
Yeah.
in a
Even
boat.
more.
In a
Yeah,
boat.
Which
Yeah, he gets rescued and he just throws the line. He goes, "Let's see, we'll stay in the middle of this."
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him, but still.
He could have gave a shout out. Hey guys, come back in like a half hour or something.
yo guys, come back in 3 minutes.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Turn your
Don't even
eye.
leave.
Turn away from us.
Matter of fact, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. Too late.
Like, but no, but that so with that scene, just because we're talking about that scene, why not just tie the boat off in the front and just do your business?
He didn't
Like,
want
why
them
be
to
stranded
leave.
out there? I'm like, why the fuck are you just because I'm like, to me that made zero sense. I'm like, okay,
You still,
boat's
you
out of
still
gas.
need some, some
why not
food and
why not
hydration.
just get towed in and just have a good time like you were getting ready to do anyway? Like, why just let go of the rope? I'm like, what the fuck? I would have been like, just imagine like if it's the other way around, it's you and a chick and she's holding the rope and she just lets it go.
I
Like,
want to get it. I want to get it wet and have some tacos. You can't do that if you're stranded in the middle of a body of water.
he's right. Unless you bring the tacos with you.
It's true.
But still, that
Tacos.
didn't make sense. That didn't make sense, Bond. How'd you get out of that? That's where the next movie should have started. Is listen, you're Bond.
Yeah,
You get out of shit.
that's
He's
what
not MacGyver, though.
that's another fascinating aspect about these movies is he's banging these women by the end of them, and then they do not acknowledge them again in the next movie for most of them.
This is the trend that started that, where like you have these sequels and it's like, nope, it's not going to be this actor coming back. It's going to be the next hot young thing, and you see it in so many movies and action movies now, like in sequels and stuff. And this is where it really started.
Wow.
And it sucks, but at the same time, like it was a trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a big way. Like we got all of those crazy names and stuff, but it wasn't, at least no, you can't even defend that. Like there was just a different, like they had all these different same characters that would come back movie after movie. There's no new woman. Sorry. I like Dr. No. It is comparatively, if you're comparing it to all the James Bonds as we know it, I can see why something they would be like, it's kind of boring. But if you really just remember like coming out of the 50s and these books doing well, and they're not really being a spy genre, like this invented it. There was no Mission Impossibles, there was no any of that stuff like at this time. And James Bond really like set the mold for what spy is supposed to look like. You gotta give it credit. So like this first one was good. They did a lot of cool little spy gimmicks, like when he puts the hair on across the
door
closet, so just in case you can see if somebody does it. Like it's for 1962. Not a lot of people knew that was like a spy thing. Check and just kind of like the sneaking around, the fighting. I thought that was a cool element for that time. but it definitely gets better as we go along.
Speaking of hair thing, he seen that it was moved. He didn't even check the closet. They could have been in there. He
No,
just
this
walked
is
away.
Yeah,
my favorite thing about these two movies is he sees everything he knows is bad and just fucking goes with it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like he knows he's not like he's invincible. He just fucking like this is clearly not a,
Well,
good
that could be
situation.
all
I'm
the-
walking-
the
There's
reason could be all
literally
those
every
bumps on his
sign
head.
here that indicates don't do this, but I'm gonna fucking go with it because in Russia from With Love, he knows it's a whole fucking honeypot situation he's walking into with this girl from the hotel. And he's like, I'm gonna ban her and I'm gonna bring her home anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna let her put me in that trap.
Yeah.
yeah. He's all about it, dude. Well, I think like if he
Crazy.
sees a woman, I really do think that he's just kind of like all in. He's like,
He's
I'm
all in.
I'm gonna
It's
make
like, fuck
this
it.
happen one way or
That's
another.
Okay.
That's how
Hold
you
on.
take things find out. You make the main villain a woman.
No,
That's
we
why
got.
the-
Let me ask you this. Let's move on to From Russia with Love because I got a question about the woman count he bangs.
Before we do that, I do want to share the screen.
We're also 46 minutes into this.
I do want. I would like to point out that Ursula Andress did go on to play another character, Vesper Lind, in the remake of Casino Royale by John Huston, starring Woody Allen as Blofeld and Peter Sellers as James Bond. Sorry.
I want to give a
Very good.
shout out to the Washington Commanders and Detroit Lions because I almost hit this over in the first half, and I did that on just a fucking. I wasn't even paying attention. Like I didn't think it was going to happen at all, but I put money on it, and they're up to fucking 52 points already.
That's awesome. But really quick, like we mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing a fundraiser on the 1st of February to help raise funds, going to the Red Cross, of course, to help the, with the LA fires, help raise funds to help them out there. So right here.
Casters for a cause, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Mick, can you please take it away, good sir?
No,
I'll show this screen off.
Yeah, we're doing another Casters for a Cause. We're doing a fundathon, as we like to call them. It's just a marathon of shows coming out, supporting, having a great time. Excuse me, I'm dying of coughing. I don't know what's going on with me. We're doing it to.
He just lost custody.
We're doing it to help, build, help with relief towards the wildfires in Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles for a time. I love that city, my adopted city, and I want to help out any way I can. So we are raising funds so we're going to be live for like 10 hours that night, just all different shows, having a great time. It's going to be hosted by Sturdy and I all day long, and all these guys are going to be along for the ride. It's going to be awesome. Please donate if you can, share if you can. It all goes to the American Red Cross, and we love to we love your help and appreciate all your support.
Damn right.
Let's fucking make some money.
Yeah, and to help out LA. Honestly, let's help out LA as best we can. We're gonna be fun, having some fun, entertaining. As a matter of fact, you're gonna see every single one of those faces at the very least on this show at 9:00. Popcorn and Pints. We won't be doing Bond, but we'll have a surprise for you that night, doing some sort of fun
That's
movie. or
where our
something.
entertainment comes from.
Yes. But I know Chris is gonna be on with Stories from a Bar. We're gonna be doing Stereo Vision. There's gonna be a Scene Stops thing. There's gonna be a bunch of things going on that you guys aren't gonna want to miss. And more importantly, we're trying to raise money to help people out in LA because they're going through a lot right now. And let's all help. Let's help build this community back up and so on and so forth. Now on to
Are we giving our ratings for Dr.
Yeah,
No?
let's.
Yes.
Same thing.
So let's go. James, what you got for us?
I'm gonna go. This is the first one. It was kind of slow, but it was still decent. I'll go a 5.
Okay. Chris?
I'm gonna do a 6 on Dr. No.
Mick?
I would give this one. Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
A 6. I'm gonna give it a 3. Really didn't care for it.
Wow.
I really didn't care for these first two. It was just kind of because again, from what I was expecting for Bond, just from the bits and pieces I've seen from newer movies and from the game, I was expecting a hell of a lot more. I had zero, as far as that, zero information on these movies. So I didn't really care for the first two, just being straight up honest with you guys.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I got a question. I got a question about From Russia with Love, and when it comes to the woman count.
Okay.
So we've got 3. We're up to 3 in just Doctor No.
Mhm.
I marked 4 total from Russia with Love because of the gypsies. Do we think he banged the 2 gypsies because he had to choose between the 2 of them?
Yes.
Who is gonna get married to whatever gypsy husband?
Yes.
Okay, so that is a total of 4 for From Russia with Love. Bringing us up to 7 women for James Bond.
Well, are you counting women or moments with women? Because he does the woman in the beginning of From Russia with Love is Sylvia Trench, who is the same woman in the beginning of Doctor No.
I don't remember. This was 2 weeks ago.
Fair
So
enough.
so we'll say you could take that one away then. Say 3 and 3.
Well,
So it'd be
okay, we were either a 6 or 7. So we're a 6 plus or minus 1. Or we're a 7 plus or minus 1.
Yeah.
Maybe we're somewhere around there.
I can't
Okay.
remember I can't remember exactly who. I knew Sylvia Trench was the first one because that's when they tried calling him. He's like, I'll be there in 30 minutes. And then he's like, all right, I'll be there in an hour. And then he hooks up there outside in the picnic.
Yep.
That's the same woman.
That's the same woman?
That's the
Yeah.
same woman from the first one.
Okay, that knocks us back down to 3. So we're at 6 through the first 2
Okay.
when it
All
comes to different women.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, technically,
I'm
are we
glad we
counting
got
the gypsy
Oh,
woman?
for fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, he did count them as two people.
2 and then Tatiana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
we're
was
at
just making
6.
sure. I wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
so we're at 6 through 2 movies.
Okay.
So he's
I just really got to pee, so I'll be right back.
That's the pints in Popcorn and Pints.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh man. Okay, so we're going on to From Russia with Love. If you don't mind, I'll take this one real quick. And this one is so basically Spectre, their Russian division, is getting real cheeky. And they made a formidable
Your mic went down, Nick.
oh shit, a formidable foe. Stop going down automatically.
There you go.
A formidable foe played by what's the hell's his name? Robert Shaw. He plays Red Grant, who is basically James Bond's rival in this, who the Russian division of Spectre has been training to be able to kill Bond in all these different fashions. Still doesn't.
Because he lets him sit there and live, staring and pointing a gun at him.
Every single time. But it does. This movie is pretty good. So like he has to save. Oh, I don't know why my thing keeps going down, but he has to save a beautiful woman named Tatiana, who's a Russian engineer, and he needs to get her device. Again, like these kind of meld together on the certain things, like the devices and stuff like that. It's like all MacGuffins for me at this point. Like it doesn't matter. Because you're getting the nook and crannies of everything else, all the James Bondy stuff you really like.
Can I just say this though about the gadgets? I did like the foldable. What was it? The rifle. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. The suitcase thing was, it was okay because I've seen. I mean, obviously, I've seen better than both of those, but just for that, for its time, I was like the foldable gun thing. That was pretty cool. That was pretty.
I always like the watch with the fucking wire.
They get wilder and wilder.
I can't wait.
Because you got to remember, like by Thunderball, like you have an underwater breathing one in the next movie, right?
Yes.
You know, the rebreather, I think it's called. And then like you have a jetpack in the next movie. And when we get there, I'll talk about how that was an actual real jetpack. So like there's a lot of stuff you're going to see going forward. The Aston Martin DB8, not DB8, DB5. Gets introduced, and that's the iconic James Bond car, and it's got the missile.
Yeah, I was about to say that. As well as the cars get introduced in these movies,
More involved, yeah.
And you're going to see bigger car chases. It's going to be. There's a lot more action from Goldfinger on. Like I feel like these two. I feel like because the iconic train fight was so action packed, people loved it, and that was very much missing from Dr. No.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about I'm gonna equate this. I'm gonna go as geek as I can and equate James Bond franchise to like who Iron Man was in the Marvel franchise in the movies, and that is he adapted properly every time. They figured out like the producers of this, Saltzman and Broccoli, who own the rights and produced all the way throughout, were geniuses in the fact that it was like, this is what works right now. This is what's popular in pop culture, and we're going to add it to James Bond. Or B, we're going to push certain things that are like you get a hovercraft in one. So like they really took about like at one point there's a bug, a VW bug in like every shot because it was like the most popular car at the time. You know, like they really do handle everything like amazingly. I thought, you know, like in evolving this and saying that worked. We're going to make sure we do more of that in the future.
But like you were saying earlier, though, you were saying like a lot of these Bond movies, they do fit with the times that they came out as well.
Yeah.
For which I think is kind of cool because like you're saying, they get more ridiculous. So I'm only imagining like times in the 80s just from action movies and just from stuff I've seen in the 80s and how ridiculous the 80s was. If you watch 80s movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I can't wait for that era of Bond.
From Russia with we talked. Dr. No was 62. From Russia with Love was only 63.
Yeah, a year apart.
Yeah. And now they like skip like every 2 years at some point, and then skip like every 3. So it's, you know, because it's like 25 and 50 years. So like that's a lot of movies, but it still doesn't cover the whole gamut. But even by the end of the 60s, even in the next one, they're doing high fly stunts in planes because that was a big thing, because aeronautics was a big thing. We're getting ready for space. And at that time you had like the test pilots really testing everything out, and they were the big heroes. By the time you get to the 67, 68, 69, they're in space. Like there's Spectre has spaceships that can go and capture other spaceships and stuff like that. And there's big races, you know, and astronauts all over the place because now the space race is there and it's this huge thing. But then by the 70s, nobody gave a shit about that. In fact, at one point, they're on a set of a moon landing. So like they're even playing into the conspiracy behind those things and stuff. They do a really good job at like, and I mean, listen, some of it is a miss. Like the voodoo in Live and Let Die, it's pretty stereotypical, you know, but in the 70s, that mysticism and like the dark energy and stuff like that was a big deal. You know, a lot of hippies like kind of coming in, and it's a depressing time. So Vietnam, the whole night. So like you see the changes all throughout. And then by 79 you get Moonraker because Star Wars was a hit. You know.
So we're going back to Star Wars, going back to last year.
And I would actually argue a lot of that stems from this movie.
Really?
Yeah, like you started seeing a lot more in the James Bond, like the blueprints of more and more with James Bond as it goes forward is in this movie than I would say Dr. No.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying.
Henchmen and certain types of action elements that we're going to see going forward.
I would even say just with the gadgets more so. I mean, I know you had the little.
We definitely get more into the gadgets with this movie.
And it's nothing extraordinary or extravagant, but it's pretty cool. And it's cool to see where it starts, and it'll be cool to see where this franchise takes us and where this franchise goes. I'm really hoping that I get into it towards some point.
I think you'll like Goldfinger. It's a different movie. And Thunderball again, like it's once you get into this, they're different for different reasons. I will say this. You're going to get through the next like 3 or 4, I should say. And you're going to get to On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and you're going to be like, this is different. It's not bad, but it's different. And not just because it's not Connery, but like, you're like, he falls in love in this one. It's deep. There's some drama to it. There's trauma on top of it and tragedy. And so like, it's it's well done, and there's so much action. Like they still added elements to it. So keep that in mind as you go forward, as you start to like things. You're going to get to On Her Majesty's Secret Service and be like, this is different. This is weird. And because you're so used to something, you might not like it. I say give it a chance, because it's going to go right back to what you want right after. Don't worry, it's going to happen right after, immediately.
Okay.
It's that moment of, does it rise? Does it stay the same, or does it just drop?
It drops right after On Her Majesty. Like, again, it's a different movie, but
Like, which way does my junk go? I don't know.
Oh, don't worry about that. He bangs like a lot of women now.
We're up to 6 through 2 movies.
Oh, you're gonna be so far ahead by
So far.
There's so many. I think the formula fits for 3 per movie.
Okay, we'll find out.
So
that's one of our missions.
Do the average.
That's why we started this.
Well, From Russia with Love is a wild one.
This they're fucking going out to the island, and all of a sudden what is the Bond girl's name in this movie? I forgot.
Tatiana Romanova.
No, her actual character name, not the actress.
That's
That's the character name. Yeah.
Really? Who the fuck's gonna remember that?
This was a different one. They went with it. They were trying something new. They thought that, again, like, think about these 2 movies back to back as you watch them. There's a lair in the first one. There's no lair in the second one, right? No, like, big over the top lair. But in every other movie from now on, there's going to be a lair. So they knew that the lair worked, right? They knew over the top action in the second one with the train sequence and such works. So you're going to see a lot of car chases and fights and stuff going on for the next ones, right? There's a whole underwater scuba fight and armies going up against each other underwater in the next one. So, like, you're going to see crazy, you're going to see the gadgets. So these 2 movies were really just like, what do we need? What are all the elements? And if you take out all the things that don't work or are boring in From Russia with Love, and take out all the boring things from Dr. No, and you just keep all the good things, that's basically what James Bond is going forward.
Okay. Yeah, I can buy that.
That makes sense.
So, it is an interesting. I like From Russia with Love. I think it's a pretty deep movie for what it is. There are only, like, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a deep movie, and I would say the Casino Royale movie with Daniel Craig. They're very deep, almost love story movies in the James Bond franchise, and I really enjoy them for how different they are. I just think they were all experiments at different times. He does slap this chick around in the train.
He's
Listen, I can't defend Sean Connery. He just does what Sean Connery does. Like,
This is the one where he meets her in the hotel room, where she's literally there to entice him, and 30 seconds later he's abandoning her after the very first time he meets her.
Yeah.
Like, forces himself on.
Change it to the bigger suite and all. They're just watching.
Watch on for sure. It's
I don't know. It's the James Bond thing is like, this is clearly the trap that I know I've been set up for, but I'm gonna fucking do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then the literal movie is just like what happens because this guy is going into what he knows is gonna be fucked up.
How to get out of it.
It's like, I like From Russia with Love, but again, because I like weird. I like different, especially in franchises. And this is one, and I like the experimental nature of those too, to give you this idea of, like, this movie seemed like they were trying to change it up, add a love element rather than have James Bond. Yeah, he'll have the sexual parts, but he's going to find somebody, and we're going to see how that plays. Doesn't play well, obviously, because it doesn't come back until On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which they thought would be the end. They thought because Connery wasn't coming back, they were like, all right, we're going to finish it out here. and that will be this will be that. And then it was it did well, and people wanted to see more, and Connery decided to come back, so they did another one. So like it's one of those things where those movies seemed very experimental. So by the time you get to Casino Royale and it's Daniel Craig and it's new and it's fresh, and people were pissed. A lot of people don't forget they didn't like that Daniel Craig was going to play James Bond because Pierce Brosnan was always known as the Bond. The whole reason Timothy Dalton got the job was because he looked like Pierce Brosnan, who was starring in Remington Steele, and they were like, he'd be the perfect James Bond, but he couldn't get the TV show. So when Daniel Craig came around, it was really experimental what they went with, and I really dug it. I like that it was out there.
See, and I just but just with these, like, I didn't like this one too much either. I probably gave it around the same score as the first one. And I just can't wait to get to that turning point to where I'm really enjoying these movies, because I know there's a lot of cool shit that goes on. I know there's a lot of, and there's these movies. I mean, they're as far as just the 25 in the franchise. There's 25 movies for a reason. Like, they've been around for years for a reason, not just because a handful of people like them. Like, this has a deep fan base, and I just want to catch on to the point of not even like a fandom thing, but just like more of an enjoyment. I'm not gonna say I hated these movies because it was far from hate, but it was just like, I'm waiting for more to go on. Just from what I know from James, and I forgot to mention this, James Bond Jr., the cartoon, I used to watch that. So that was probably my biggest thing. And there was action galore in that. Not a lot of sex.
Like there should be multiple James Bond Jr. cartoons.
Well, he wouldn't name them all James, but you're right. Well, I guess he's a junior, isn't he? No? Yes? Is he? I don't fucking know. But so I know I'm gonna say it for these first two at least, but it's just they were like okay for me. They were okay for me. I did like this one a little bit more. I thought the helicopter scene with the car, the chase, and all of that was fun. That was fun for me. As cheesy as it was, I'm just like,
I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Where he runs and just dives in the sand.
But is it just me, or does James Bond Jr. look just like Chris?
Hang on, let me find where you're at.
What did James Bond Jr. looks like?
Oh, shit.
It looks like if Chris and Kirk Cameron had a son.
Ooh. Sans religiousness.
Chris with red hair. That's hilarious.
I just looked it up because I remember James Bond Jr., the cartoon, and a few people were talking about it, and I was like, I gotta remember. I don't remember what he looked like though.
Mm-hmm.
So, he looked like Chris. So by extension, looks like James Bond.
Yeah. There you go.
So one of the things I'm going to look forward to these movies, because Chris is doing the sex count. How many women?
Thank you for specifying women.
Yeah, I look forward to the scenes where they should have killed him right away.
Oh, there's so many of those.
I know, so many.
All right. All right, I like that. So Chris has the sex count. You have the where he should have been killed. Me, it's honestly going to be gadgets and cars, because I know that comes into play. So gadgets and cars is like my main.
I'll do my best for everything else.
I mean, what you're looking forward to, not even like a countdown or nothing.
No, yeah.
I want to hear everybody's rankings on James Bonds. Which ones were which?
I gave a 6 to both of these.
No, he means like your favorite Bond once we're all.
Oh yeah. We're only 2 movies in.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't mean that.
No, that's what he's saying. What he's looking forward to.
But like, I'm anxious to see who everybody's favorite henchman is, who's everybody's favorite villain is. Like, there's so many. It's an eclectic group. These two did introduce iconic James Bond villains, but they're so different from the normal James Bond villains that we've come to know and love, because they keep getting crazier and crazier. So it's just gonna be so much fun. Jaws. I mean, come on, Jaws. Yeah. Again, attaching itself to another movie. Yeah. Of the time. So like, it's crazy. I have to go potty.
Potty. Well, you want to give your ratings for these, and then we can kind
of 7 for. Well, I did. It says, I believe it said 6 for Dr. No, 7 for From Russia with Love.
Yeah. Okay.
I like this one better. I'm going to give this one a 6.
And Chris, you said double 6, right?
Yeah, double 6.
I'm gonna say a 3.5 for this one because I did like it a little bit better than the first one.
Just a little. You're tough. You're a tough cookie.
I'm just being honest.
I'm just messing with you.
Hey, I mean, they'd be higher scores if James Bond
I had a
was
feeling.
black.
I knew.
Nah, because if it was still the same story, it'd still be boring as shit. It's just
I knew
It's-
when we
No,
first
you
started
just
this-
want a black James Bond. That's fine. There's
Well,
nothing
I
wrong
do.
with
when we
that.
first started this, that Aaron, I had a feeling he's not going to like the first like 4 at all.
we'll see. The first two, I'm not really crazy about.
Just because you got to think this is in the 60s and this is like
But I like older movies and shit. Like
yeah,
we went on a
but
run
this
of
is
old
different
movies.
though. This is like a little bit kind of like not like little slow pace. It's
The
like
True was slow. The True was slow though. But the prison one that we watched, that was slow. It was just this didn't what it is because I had different expectations for it. Again, coming from the game and coming from the cartoons and just coming from the popularity.
you can't do
Not
that.
only, but like
I
the
remember
popularity and then like knowing about the Bond gadgets, the Bond cars, everybody knows about the Bond women, but just knowing about that and then not getting that from these two.
Well, I knew that wasn't going to happen this early. 62. I'm like, this is just going to be like a regular cop show.
Yeah.
Like the dude was like a fucking
That's
detective.
basically what it was. It was more of like a cop / detective and it felt like a spy.
Yeah.
But
I
you
already knew that going in. I expected that. I didn't expect like, oh my god, I want to know what gadgets they have in the 60s where they came out with.
Mhm.
You
I
know,
don't
I
regret
knew it wasn't going to be crazy shit because no one thought of the futuristic stuff until later on.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, there is for whatever was going on in those times, and I don't regret watching these. Will I watch these two again? No, I absolutely
Like
will
the
not.
suitcase, it's rigged to explode. It's like a flash bomb. It didn't even do nothing to him. He was like right in it, like right into his face. Should have blew his fucking head apart or something.
Listen. They got to keep Bond around, James.
And
They
Bond
gotta-
did the
true.
little trick. Like for one, what he said, I forgot exactly what he said. I would look at him like, "Are you a moron? I'm not gonna fall for that." And I would have shot him in the face. He tricks you to go get the suitcase. Oh, what? Oh, let me get it. Let me get it. And the guy's like, "No, I'll get it because there could be a gun in there or something." That's what he's thinking. And James Bond's like, "Okay, you can get it." I'm like, "Come on, man. He's playing you. Fucking shoot him in the face."
He knows.
Fucking
Oh, I
crazy.
will say-
Man, how many times did they kick each other out that fucking door into the next room?
Who has watched past these two movies so far for this?
Say that again.
Who's watched any movies past these two?
Not
None
me.
yet. Nope.
Not yet.
I'm not
I-
sure.
I heard
Rich-
you talking about when I was leaving. Well, no, yeah, I meant for this. So it's like nice and fresh.
Oh no, I just do the ones because I'll get all mixed up and confused.
I heard James say earlier, he's like, I think like the first 4 I think you're gonna be fine with the next 2.
Okay.
It takes like it's different. It really like Odd Job is in that one. He's the famous one that was also in Austin Powers, like where he has a bowler cap that he.
It was Odd Job, the short one, the real short one.
No, he was like he was the big Samoan dude
Okay. I'm thinking of somebody else
in
then.
the suit, like he had the butler suit and such. So
Okay. know.
like
He
you
was-
start seeing those elements, those iconic elements of Bond, and like the cars introduced, and you got so much more. So like, I really think you're gonna enjoy.
The next two.
I think the next 2 are gonna hit the stride for you, like to the point where you think you'll enjoy them more than you would have these 2 anyway.
Okay.
Okay. That's fair. And I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right.
We'll find out.
I know there's going to be a point where I'm going to enjoy these films. Not going to say where I'm going to love, but I know there's going to be a point where I'm going to enjoy these films and probably go on a run for quite a few of them. But we'll see
Yeah.
when that starts. The sooner the better for me. The
Trust
sooner
me,
the
as
better.
I'm watching him, I have a sturdy meter. I'm like, he's gonna hate this. There's
Oh,
way too many white people in this.
That is not why I'm not going to like the movie. But I do like your sturdy meter. I want to hear more about
The
this
sturdy
per
meter.
episode. The sturdy meter. What do you think I'm gonna? How do you think I'm gonna feel?
Well,
once-
it's hard to gauge Chris and James because they're very like. There are some things they don't like that I'm like, wow, really? I thought you would have really liked this. And then there are stuff that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this, and they fucking love it.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Like
Love
that movie.
But sturdy,
Did you just say like that movie? Because
Yeah,
that
but
really
what-
narrows them down.
Like the one that my punishment movie, the one with Hugh Jackman had the ball
Like,
sack.
Are we? I'm not going to be here next week. Are we doing a punishment movie?
You know what?
yeah, but aren't we
Yeah.
punishment for
Yeah.
the?
It's the new
Let's do
rule.
it
We
for-
roast them.
Let's do it for the charity event.
Yeah. So if you're not here next week. Oh, we're doing it next week. I do want to hear what you think of those, though. So,
I'll watch the next 2 James Bond movies.
and then the first we'll do that's the thing. So we'll just do the roast.
Live on
Yeah, live on the thing. So that way you don't have James
But
Bond.
we got to watch. Yeah, but part of that was watching a punishment movie.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's what we're gonna do.
we're gonna watch your punishment movie.
And we're gonna roast
What is the
them.
punishment movie?
We got to spin the punishment wheel.
We gotta spin the wheel.
Shit.
Yeah, are we doing that now? That's the point, right?
No, I
And
guess
Chris, you
so.
froze, by the way.
God damn it!
You did.
Let's everybody freeze.
Hold on, restarted USB. I don't know. I don't understand what the deal is here.
It happens,
are-
man. Technical
You guys
discipline.
are ruining it. Stop.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be still.
All right.
There
Okay.
you go. You're back.
Now my mouth is itchy.
All right. Aaron's finding the wheel, I'm guessing.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
fucking. Okay.
Let's give him this punishment that we
While
all
he's
have
finding
to
the
watch.
wheel,
Fuck
that
with him.
fucking another way he should have died. That fucking agent, the fucking old lady,
Yep.
should have killed him in seconds. He was there. She was like a fucking maid. He had nothing, like no suspicion about her. She could have
No.
pulled a gun out of her fucking.
Everybody waits.
shot him
Everybody
in the
waits. You don't just fucking pull a gun out and
Yeah.
shoot.
Damn.
You don't know. You guys really need to just let that go and have suspension of disbelief.
I can't. I look forward to it now.
It's
I
gonna
want to find all
By the-
the spots where he should have died.
By the way, everybody has to watch this punishment movie.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know.
Yeah, I know.
And then
Thanks.
we're gonna
So-
talk about it on the live and
So
Talk
for
shit about
everybody
Chris.
who's watching or whatever, and you don't know, we have to spin the punishment wheel because one of us isn't going to be here, which is Chris this week, and then we'll all watch it, and then at the charity event, we're going to roast the shit out
No,
of it.
not the English patient. That's
Oh,
like
no.
3
No,
hours.
No!
oh fuck.
I hate this movie.
I've never seen it, but I know it's torture.
I've never seen it either.
There's
but
a whole episode of Seinfeld about this.
This
We
is the
have-
movie
we-
we'll be discussing on
Fuck.
February 1st.
Fuck.
And I've never seen it. I know nothing about it. I know it's probably
It's
gonna
trash, Aaron. You're gonna be bored out of your fucking mind.
Oh man.
I'm really upset that I added this to the list. Now that I added this, thinking I wasn't going to have to watch it.
But here's the funny thing though, Mick. Then you're the one who came with the brilliant idea of let's do this. We all punish, we're all gonna watch a Punisher. We'll just we get to roast the person who's
Yeah, it's just him.
Point.
Yep.
I
And then we're able to
am
God damn
so mad that that's the first.
I forgot this movie sucks so much. I forgot who stars in it.
I've never seen it.
Fines.
I've never seen it either, so fuck.
Man,
It's
I just know it's long and it's boring.
it
oh,
is
that's gonna be rough, man.
it is I'm
It
not-
is. It's like 3 hours, isn't it?
it's so long.
Oh
It's
God.
so long.
It's long, man.
It's so
For
long.
no reason.
watched-
It's not even good.
I watched it.
2 hours and 42 minutes.
That's
Ah.
fucking ridiculous.
No, it's yeah, Julie Binoche, she was in it, and Kristen Scott Thomas. Actually, Ralph Fiennes and Julie Binoche just got back together and redid and started a new movie, The Return, which is about Odysseus's return.
Well, I hope they get divorced because of this fucking movie.
All right, listen, here's the deal with this fucking movie. So I watched this movie because I watched every Best Picture winner one year like that. Yeah, so I went through and watched every Best Picture winner throughout time. Me and a buddy did it. We did it like a couple months leading up to whatever year's Academy Award we did it. It was like 20 years ago probably. And The English Patient won Best Picture. And I will tell you, after I finished this movie, I still don't know how this won Best Picture. And
That's
it's
because those award shows are fucking
you're right.
scripted and rigged.
But even then, like, I don't know how anyone got through this to vote for it.
Exactly. They fell
So-
asleep and landed on the button.
I better
Oh.
not get roasted for this one. It's Chris's punishment. I really
It is.
be very upset when you have to watch it, but I have to watch it too. And it is a punishment movie.
Yeah, we all have to watch this bullshit.
Yeah, it's gonna
Dude,
be
if you thought Sturdy was going to be mad because of all the white people in James Bond, wait until he watches this one.
Man, it's gonna be tough.
I don't want to watch a woman washing a guy in a tub for 2.5 hours.
It and telling and narrations.
yeah,
of
it's
war.
oh god.
Oh, yo, this is gonna be so fucking like. There's gonna be a lot of bull. We're gonna be talking a lot of shit that whole time. You're not gonna want to miss that. That is the time you better. If you don't, no, tune in for everything, but make sure you tune in for Popcorn and Pints for that shit.
You know what?
The
We should
fucking English patient.
save watching it for right before, so it's fresh.
Yeah, but the thing, how? Because we're on all day.
No. I don't mean that day, but I meant don't watch it this week because
Oh, no,
Oh,
hell
I'm
no,
not
we
watching
can
it this week. Hell no.
No, I was gonna watch it the day before.
You
Yeah.
want to have that fresh, especially for that moment. Oh, it's gonna be
Where the
wild.
anger is full peak.
You're welcome. I feel good already.
Yeah, but you gotta go through this too. You're gonna be pissed off. You're gonna be pissed
And we're
off.
gonna be ripping into you for not showing up and making us
Yeah.
watch it.
It's all right.
And we're
I'm
probably
already
already making up a reason. We're whatever the reason is, we're gonna make something up, like we always do for James as to why.
I'm gonna actually try to think of like roasting shit.
Don't show up next week. Don't make it change in plans and show up. Watch this shit. And you,
Maybe that's my master plan. Have you guys watch it and then say, I can make it.
Oh no,
That'd
no,
be
no.
fucked up.
The punishment wheels, the punishment movies. The only way I'm watching those is the week of the punishment reviews. Other than that, I'll wait. Like, oh, she ain't gonna be here this week.
Yeah, it's
I ain't
true.
watching this.
Like if you show up, like, oh, okay, I don't have to watch that trash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck
All right.
that.
Well, then you're in for a treat.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so we're gonna have a great time. And again, most importantly, make sure you guys come check out Cats for Cause on February 1st, starting at 3 p.m. and going till 1 a.m. It's gonna be a great time. It's a great cause. Hope to see you guys there. Come check us out. You know, check out the Scene Snobs, check out Stories from a Bar, check out Popcorn and Pints, and check out Horror with Sir Sturdy. But we're gonna get on out of here and yeah, have a great night and enjoy the playoffs.
It's true. I just hit my over.
Doing the bond.
later.
There he goes, doing the bond. Finger guns. James Bond Jr. James Bond Jr. He doesn't
Dude,
know his
the-
father.
The show.
My name is James.
End it. End it.
Thanks for
End the
popping
fucking
by.
show, man.
Hey. Shh. Relax.
I want to
Thanks for
watch the
stopping by.
Lions win.
Thanks for popping by. Peace. Peace.